Hello, welcome back to Healing Mama Podcast. I'm your host, Val, aka Healing Mama, and today's episode is Trusting the Process. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining. You didn't come across this episode on accident. I feel like everything in life is based on divine alignment and our higher power aligning ourselves with everything that is for our greatest and highest good. And there might be a part of you that is searching for healing, that's searching for growth, searching for answers. And that is what I talk about in this podcast. I share my life experiences, my healing, my growth, my struggles, everything that is me in this journey of life. And I just want to say I'm really glad you found your way here. Hopefully, my headphones aren't too distracting to you guys. Usually, I have my hair down, but today was just a bun day. So that's why you're seeing the little glitches because the green screen is causing issues with the headphones. So hopefully it doesn't bother you too much, but we'll get through it. And today's episode is trusting the process, something that I'm still learning and working on as I'm going through this stage. I'm still walking through this myself, still trying to trust everything and realize that everything in life is happening for me, not to me. And really trying to trust the process and not carry today's issues into tomorrow or into the next day, because who's to say that I'm even going to be here tomorrow? And let's be honest, so many of us are exhausted. We're not exhausted because of the day or from what we're going through, but we're exhausted from everything we're thinking about that hasn't happened yet. The constant running of the mind. We're trying to control outcomes, healing, answers, people, situations, and that gets heavy over time. So we're going to slow that down together today. We're going to talk about it. So why do we struggle to trust? Trust the process, trust our higher power, trust that life is happening for us. Trusting the process sounds nice when you hear it. It can look cute on quotes. But when you're in the middle of it all, going through storms, struggles, and it's just you and God, sometimes it can feel impossible. It can feel impossible because trusting means not having all the answers, not knowing when your situation is going to change, not being in control. And I think that's it right there. The control. Because if you're going through this healing journey, more likely than not, you have control issues. I have control issues. Control issues that I'm working on, but control issues nonetheless. So when life's been unpredictable, when people have let you down, when things don't go the way we planned, we learn to hold on tighter and to try to get that control because we feel like we're losing our footing. But here's the truth. Control gives us the illusion of peace, but it's actually causing more anxiety, because what we do when we control, now we're making ourselves responsible for outcomes we were never meant to carry, situations we were never meant to try to control. So let's be honest, take a second and dive deep into this question. How many times have you laid in bed at night, letting your mind just run wild, thinking things like, what if this doesn't work out? What if things don't change? What if I'm making the wrong decisions? What if I never get everything that I'm hoping for? And suddenly, what our mind starts to do, it starts to go 10 steps ahead of us because it's trying to fix and control the situation, because that's what we've learned and taught our minds, our nervous system to do. And so what we're doing in that moment is we're trying to live in the future. We're trying to live in something that hasn't even happened yet. But our mind doesn't know that that's not reality. So our bodies, our mind react like it's real with the anxiety behind it. So you start to feel that anxiety. You start to feel your chest tighten, your heart start beating a little bit faster. It might become harder for you to breathe. You might get dizzy. You might start to spiral. You feel overwhelmed, drained, detached, whatever it is. Everybody feels differently. But it's all from something that hasn't even happened yet. It's the thought of it happening that causes us to get into this panic mode. And that's what worrying does. That's what that control does. It takes you out of the present moment and it's placing you into fear of the unknown. But this is what I want you to remember today. We were never meant to carry tomorrow's burdens, tomorrow's weight with today's strength. There is grace for today. There's strength for today. There is peace for today. But what you're doing is you're trying to grab tomorrow's weight, tomorrow's worries, tomorrow's struggles, and you're overwhelming your today, your current situation, your current moment. And trusting the process doesn't mean that everything feels good, that everything's going to be perfect, or even that it's going to turn out the way you want it to. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to understand everything that's happening. What that means is that you're trusting the process and you're aligning yourself with your greatest and highest good and ensuring that your higher power is creating that for you and knows the very best thing that is for you and what you need. And growth doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes growth looks like waiting, letting go, starting over, being uncomfortable, not getting what you wanted. And that's the hard part. But healing, alignment, breakthrough, that's not on our timeline. That's on our higher powers timeline. So that brings me into today's quote, which I want to speak over your life. Trust the process. Life unfolds in its own time. There's no need to rush or force what's meant to be. Trust the process, have patience, and let things fall into place naturally. What's meant for you will come when the time is right. Instead of stressing over the unknown, embrace the journey and have faith that everything will happen exactly when it's supposed to. Trusting the process, everything will happen exactly the way it's supposed to in divine timing according to your higher power's greatest and highest good for your life. And I know how easy it is to want to rush the process, to try to get 10 steps ahead. Maybe you're comparing yourself to someone else's timeline right now, looking at their life, what they have. Maybe you feel like something's missing or you feel behind, but what's meant for you will not pass you by. I promise. Sometimes we're just not trusting the process. We're trying to force the process. We're trying to force relationships. We're trying to force healing, trying to force answers. We're trying to force doors to open. And when it doesn't work, we feel rejected. But what if that's not rejection we're feeling? What if it's protection? What if it's redirection? What if you haven't received the answer you want or the outcome you want because you're not the person you're supposed to be in order to receive it just yet? Because not everything that is delayed is denied. Some things are being prepared. And at this moment, maybe you're being prepared. Maybe God is preparing you and you're in God's waiting room. Recently, I was talking to a mentor of mine where him and I are working through social media strategies and growing Healing Mama podcasts. And, I was talking to him and I was being open and honest. And I was like, hey, this is how I feel. I've been doing this over a year. I pushed through even on tough days, through losses, whatever it is that I'm going through. And he told me, you know what, Val? I just feel it in my heart to tell you, I think you're a lot further along than you give yourself credit for. And I think it's just on the other side. And that really stopped me in my tracks. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Maybe I am not seeing the divine alignment of it all, and that everything in this life of mine, the podcast, my life, whatever it is, it's in God's divine alignment for my life. So everything will happen as it should be. But I needed that reminder. So how do we learn to practice trusting the process? What I try to do is I try to bring myself back into the present moment. When I feel myself drifting into worries or stressors or situations that are taking me to tomorrow or next week or a month from now, I try to bring myself back to the moment, back into present day, into this very second, and ask yourself, what can I do about this situation right now? And I feel like for myself, a lot of the times, what I feel in my heart is that I have to wait. I have to be patient. I have to trust the process. So bringing myself back to today. And when my mind starts to go crazy and I start to try to control things, I stop myself and I realize everything that I'm grateful for in this moment. So I'm not looking at life at a point of lack or what I don't have or unanswered prayers, but being grateful for everything that I do have when my mind does start to spiral. I woke up this morning. I'm breathing on my own. I have an able body that is able to take me throughout my day. I have all of my senses. My babies and I woke up this morning. I have a roof over my head. I'm blessed beyond every struggle and situation that tries to take my mind out of this present moment. Secondly, I try to release what I can't control. Can I control other people's actions? No. Can I control situations? No. So if it's out of your hands, it's not yours to carry. Speak peace into yourself. Again, start with affirmations. Even if you don't feel that peace over that situation, speak peace into that situation. Whatever you're going through, I'm going to be okay. This situation is going to work out for my greatest and highest good. I align myself with the divine alignment of my higher power and what He has for me. And lastly, give yourself permission to not have it all figured out. We are human beings going through this life and experiencing things. Sometimes they're new things, sometimes they're repeated patterns. But give yourself grace. You're allowed to be in this process of healing and transitioning and learning and growing. And I want to leave you with this. You're not behind. You're not missing your moment. You're not forgotten. You're in the middle of becoming, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Even if it's uncomfortable, if it seems unclear, trust the process. Something is unfolding inside of you. Something is unfolding inside of me. So if you have time today, what I want you to work on, it's going to take maybe 5 minutes. Write one thing down that you've been trying to carry into the future. If you don't have time to write it down, think about it. And what I want you to do is I want you to intentionally release this. Say it out loud if you need to. Let me give you an example for myself. I am not carrying the stress, the anxiety, the worry about this podcast into tomorrow. If it's still meant for me, my higher power will have everything in divine alignment. And I release this sense of control that I try to take over, and I give it to my higher power. I live for today and in this moment. And have grace with yourself, and remember, you hold a lot of power when it comes to your thoughts and what comes out of your mouth. So I challenge you to also keep that in mind. Are you speaking life and peace into yourself? Or are you speaking worry, anxiety, fear, doubt? So watch your words, watch your thoughts, because they do matter. And as always, if you know someone who is just going through it right now, they need a little bit of encouragement, some guidance, some direction, share the podcast. Like, comment, share, follow, subscribe, screenshot, tag me in it, comment. I love comments. The other day, I had somebody that I was on a live and we were chatting in the box, and she was just telling me, I'm going through it. I don't know what to do. And so I told her, DM me. And her and I have been talking on a daily basis and working through some things. And I am so grateful for social media. Honestly, I would have never imagined that I could make such great, strong connections with people that I've never met in real life, and that share their stories with me openly and give me opportunity to hold space for them in my heart. So I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for taking time to listen today, to tune in, and I appreciate you. And we'll just keep pushing through it, guys. We're going to continue to trust the process. We're going to continue to learn and grow. And we'll have some stories along the way. And I appreciate you all. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow. I am on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TikTok, Podcastle. You can find me at Healing Mama Podcasts, with the exception of TikTok, where you can find me at Healing Mama Pod. And until next time, I send you so much love, joy, peace, positivity, and I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Bye, guys.